hidden deep in the great mountains of the western United States, where the roads curve and seem to lead to another world, there are mountain kingdoms that still keep their wild and mysterious beauty. From valleys covered with morning fog to mountain peaks with snow all year, the land across Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and Illinois shows a natural picture that is both grand and quiet, where people seem like visitors. These are not busy tourist places, but they are lands for people who love to explore, where you can walk in large pine forests, hear the wind on the Rocky Mountains, and see clear lakes that reflect the wide sky. Each area has its own character: wild, natural, sometimes hard, but always very beautiful and attractive. Hidden Mountain Worlds is not only a trip to explore geography, but also a journey of feelings, where the quiet becomes deep, where nature tells stories of millions of years, and where you can truly feel how small you are in the endless beauty of the earth. In the middle of the western part of the United States, Colorado appears like a living picture, where great nature, rich history, diverse culture, and friendly people come together to make an unforgettable symphony. With an area of more than 269,000 square kilometers and the highest average height in all the states of the United States, Colorado becomes a special place that attracts millions of visitors every year. There is no sea coast, but this state has the highest mountains of the Rocky Mountains, great national parks, red stone plateaus that remind of thousands of years of Native American history, and lively, active, and creative cities. Colorado is not only a place to visit, but also a land to experience, to live, to understand, and to love. About its geography, Colorado is in the western part of the United States, with Wyoming and Nebraska in the north, Kansas in the east, New Mexico and Oklahoma in the south, and Utah in the west. Four states, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico, meet at one point called Four Corners, where visitors can put their four limbs in four states at the same time. A one-of-a-kind experience. The land of Colorado is very different, with most of the area in the high Rocky Mountains next to the wide Great Plains in the east, the dry but beautiful Colorado Plateau in the southwest, and the river valleys and amazing canyons in the northwest. This variety makes a rich climate, and views that change so much that you can feel 4 seasons in only one day. When we talk about Colorado, we cannot forget Rocky Mountain National Park, the national park called the Heart of the Rockies. Covering more than 1,000 square kilometers, it has more than 480 kilometers of trails, hundreds of blue glacier lakes, endless pine forests, and many mountain peaks higher than 4,000 meters. One of the most special experiences is driving on Trail Ridge Road, the highest road in North America, where even in summer the snow is still white. Here, you can go trekking, camping, watch moose, black bears, eagles, or simply breathe the fresh air of the great mountains and forests. Located in Colorado Springs, Garden of the Gods is one of the most amazing natural symbols of the state. The red sandstone rocks, almost 100 meters tall, rise straight into the deep blue sky, making a unique natural sculpture park. Visitors can walk on the trails, ride bicycles, climb rocks, or simply watch the sunset when the sunlight turns everything red. This great rock garden is not only a perfect place for photos, but also a place to feel the wonderful creativity of nature. Different from the pure natural beauty, Mesa Verde National Park gives a journey back in history. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, this park keeps hundreds of stone houses built by the ancient Pueblo people in the cliffs more than 700 years ago. The most special is Cliff Palace, the largest cliff village in North America, with more than 150 rooms and 23 ceremony rooms. When you walk into Mesa Verde, you feel like you touch the heritage of a bright native civilization, both wild and mysterious. At the foot of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, Great Sand Dunes National Park shows a rare opposite view. Huge sand dunes up to 230 meters high, right next to snowy mountains. This is the place where you can climb to the top of a dune, try sandboarding, walk in the small desert, or camp to watch the bright stars in the night sky. In summer, the Medano Creek flowing around the dunes makes a natural, cool playground, making the experience even more special. If the Grand Canyon is famous for its size, the Black Canyon of the Gunnison is special for its deep and quiet beauty. The steep, dark gray cliffs, more than 800 meters high, make a great canyon where the sunlight cannot easily reach the bottom. Visitors can stand at the viewpoints to admire, or take more adventure by climbing or boating through the Gunnison River, one of the strongest rivers in the United States. This is a perfect place for people who want to challenge themselves and feel the greatness of nature. The capital, Denver, is called the Mile High City because it is at the height of exactly 1,609 meters above sea level. This city is young and modern, and also a lively center of culture and art. Here, you can visit the Denver Art Museum, enjoy music at the theater, explore the Rhino Art District full of graffiti colors, or stop at the famous craft beer pubs. Denver is also the perfect starting point for a journey to explore all of Colorado. When we talk about Colorado, we also talk about world-class ski resorts, and Aspen and Vail are the most famous. Aspen is the favorite place of rich people and celebrities, not only because of the great ski slopes, but also because of the lively music and art festivals. Vail gives the feeling of an old European village in the middle of American mountains. In winter, both towns are full of white snow, turning Colorado into a paradise for people who love winter sports. Not only nature views, Colorado also has many interesting things. This state has the highest average height in the United States, with more than 50 mountain peaks higher than 4,200 meters called 14ers. The weather here changes so fast that people joke you can feel 4 seasons in one day. Colorado is also the home of the famous Coors beer brand and is called the craft beer capital of America, with hundreds of breweries. It is also one of the first states to make marijuana legal, making it a part of modern life. And more than that, the cowboy spirit of the West, the spirit of freedom and discovery, is still strong in the life and character of the people here. The culture of Colorado is a special mix. The influence of native people is shown in festivals, art, and old places. The influence of Mexico and Spain is seen in food, buildings, and language. The cowboy spirit of the West is alive in rodeo festivals, cattle ranches, and horse riding traditions. In cities like Denver or Boulder, modern culture grows with music, street art, film festivals, and food festivals. Big events like the Denver Film Festival, Telluride Bluegrass Festival, National Western Stock Show, or even Frozen Dead Guy Days in Netherlands all show the creativity and cultural diversity of Colorado. The food of Colorado is also a journey to discover. The most curious dish is Rocky Mountain oysters, which are actually bull testicles fried crispy, a brave challenge for visitors. The dish green chile, a Mexican-style green chili stew, is popular in daily meals, especially in the cold winter. Colorado lamb is said to be the best in the United States, together with grilled bison that is tasty and full of nutrition. The clear streams give fresh trout fish. And of course, craft beer is the biggest pride, making Colorado the beer capital of America, where you can easily find hundreds of special beers, from light and fruity to strong with wood flavor. All these things make a full picture of Colorado, a land that is wild and great, modern and lively, full of tradition and always creative. Coming to Colorado, you do not only see the views, but also live in the free spirit of the American West. Learn more about history, feel the friendly people, and enjoy the special food. Colorado is where the past and the present meet, where nature and people join together, where peace and energy live at the same time. This is one of the most special states of the United States, a dream place for visitors, a perfect place to live and work, and the wild but lively heart of the American West. Wyoming is a land of the big sky, of the wide grasslands, and of the tall and majestic mountains. It is one of the states that has a very wild and free spirit in the United States. This place is not loud and not busy, but slow, quiet, and full of natural life. Every morning in Wyoming starts with the sound of the wind through the grass, the sunlight shining through the gray stone mountains, and the smell of dry grass, melting snow, and earth in the air. It is a land where, when you come, you can feel freedom in every breath. Nature here is still strong and beautiful, like hundreds of years ago, and people live slowly and in harmony with the land and sky. Located in the heart of the American West, Wyoming is like a raw gem among the majestic Rocky Mountains. With a very large area, but the smallest population in the United States, this place gives a feeling of space, freedom, and almost no limits. Wyoming borders Montana in the north, South Dakota and Nebraska in the east, Colorado in the south, and Idaho and Utah in the west, a central location near many of the greatest natural wonders in the United States. The land of Wyoming is diverse, from dry plains and wide plateaus to mountain ranges covered with snow all year. Most of the state is higher than 2,000 meters, so the air here is fresh and cool all year. Summer is short, but full of life, and winter is long and harsh, bringing beautiful white snow scenes. When people talk about Wyoming, they cannot forget Yellowstone, the precious gem of the United States and the first national park in the world. Founded in 1872, Yellowstone is a global symbol of nature protection. Covering more than 9,000 square kilometers, mostly in Wyoming, Yellowstone is a paradise of amazing geological wonders, wide valleys, and rich plants and animals. Here, visitors can see the Old Faithful geyser erupt on time like a natural clock, colorful hot springs like a rainbow at Grand Prismatic Spring, or herds of bison walking across the grassland at sunrise. Hayden Valley and Lamar Valley are the places with the most wild animals, from grizzly bears, wolves, and moose to bald eagles, the national symbol of the United States. Yellowstone is not only a tourist destination, but also a symbol of wild beauty, where people can see how small they are in front of the great nature. South of Yellowstone is Grand Teton National Park, one of the most beautiful and powerful scenes in the American West. The Teton mountain range has peaks higher than 4,000 meters that stand tall under the blue sky and reflect on the calm surface of Jackson Lake like a mirror. Each season, Grand Teton has a different beauty. Spring has wildflowers, summer has strong sunshine, fall has bright yellow leaves, and winter is covered with white snow. This is the perfect place to hike, kayak, ride a mountain bike, or simply sit by the lake and watch the sunset turn the faraway mountaintops golden. Leaving the Western Mountains, the journey brings us to another special symbol of Wyoming, Devil's Tower, a huge rock tower rising in the Northeast Plains. With a height of almost 400 meters, Devil's Tower looks like a natural pillar standing alone between the sky and the land. For a long time, this place has been holy for Native people, where they held ceremonies to pray for good weather and good life. When the first European explorer saw it, he was surprised and called it the Tower of the Devil. But for the Native people, it is a gift from the spirits. In 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt made Devil's Tower the first national monument of the United States, an important moment in the history of nature protection in America. Today, Devil's Tower is still a popular place for climbers and photographers, especially in the evening when the moonlight shines on the tall rock walls and creates a scene that is both magical and holy. Another place that shows the wild western spirit is Jackson Hole Valley, located between the Teton Mountains and the Gros Ventre Range. The town of Jackson, the center of the valley, is where nature and cowboy culture meet. Along the main street, wooden bars, leather shops, art galleries, and BBQ restaurants in Western style still keep their classic feeling. In winter, Jackson Hole becomes one of the most famous ski areas in the United States, attracting visitors from everywhere to enjoy the white slopes. In summer, this place becomes a paradise for outdoor activities, from hiking, fishing, and camping, to riding a hot air balloon to see the whole Grand Teton from above. Wyoming also has many other wild natural areas, including Bighorn National Forest, a large national forest with clear lakes, waterfalls hidden in the trees, and trails that go through the Bighorn Mountains. This is a perfect place for people who want to escape city life and feel close to nature again. Not far away is Hot Springs State Park in the town of Thermopolis, home to the largest natural hot spring in North America. Warm mineral water comes from the earth, bringing healthy minerals and making a wonderful, relaxing place in nature. What makes Wyoming special is not only its great landscapes, but also the feeling of endless freedom that this place gives. When you drive on the roads across the plains, you may not see any people for many kilometers, only the blue sky, the wind, and herds of bison eating grass slowly. This empty space makes people feel closer to nature than ever before. Wyoming is a place where you can sit alone on a hillside, watch the sunset, and feel complete silence, something very rare in the modern world. People in Wyoming have a strong, free, and honest spirit of the American West. They love nature, live close to the land and sky, value hard work, and keep the cowboy tradition, a symbol of strength and simple life. In daily life, cowboy hats, leather boots, and friendly smiles appear in small towns from Sheridan to Cody and Laramie. Wyoming culture is a mix of native heritage and the pioneer spirit, shown in exciting rodeo festivals, simple country music, and campfire gatherings in nature. Here, people greet each other with honesty, support their community, and feel proud of a free land where human values live together with wild natural beauty. Wyoming food shows the same spirit: simple, rich in flavor, and close to nature. Beef, lamb, elk, and salmon are common ingredients on the table. Dishes like buffalo steak, tasty grilled bison meat, elk burger, a burger made from elk meat, or butter-grilled river salmon all carry the flavor of the mountains. And for people who like new experiences, Rocky Mountain oysters, a food that can challenge your taste, is seen as a symbol of cowboy cooking. In small towns, you can easily find family restaurants where cooks grill meat on hot coals, add light spicy BBQ sauce, and serve it with local craft beer. Eating in Wyoming is not only about food, but also about connecting with others, sharing happiness, and keeping traditions. Wyoming is a special land where nature, history, and people come together to create a perfect picture of freedom and peace. Among the high mountains, endless grasslands, and wide sky, visitors not only see amazing beauty, but also feel the spirit of the Wild West that is still alive in every breath. Wyoming is not noisy or showy, but it attracts people with quiet, honesty, and natural beauty. This is a place to find a slow life again, to listen to the wind, the stream, and your own heart in the great nature. Even if you come only one time, Wyoming will stay in your memory, not only because of the beautiful views, but also because of the pure feeling of freedom that very few places in the world can give. Illinois is a state in the Midwest of the United States, and for a long time it has been called the Land of Lincoln, connected with President Abraham Lincoln, who led the country through the Civil War and ended slavery. But Illinois is not only famous for its history, but also for its cultural diversity, its strong economy, and its natural beauty that goes from wide cornfields to modern cities, especially Chicago, which is a world center of finance, art, architecture, and music. When visitors come to Illinois, they can easily feel the mix between modern and traditional, between the busy city life and the quiet countryside. This is a small picture of the United States, where the proud past, the bright present, and a future full of potential all come together. Illinois has an area of about 150,000 square kilometers, and it is in the center of the Midwest with a special strategic position. In the north, it borders Wisconsin. In the northeast, it borders Lake Michigan. In the east, it borders Indiana. In the west, it borders Iowa and Missouri, with the great Mississippi River as a natural border. And in the south, it borders Kentucky, separated by the Ohio River. The capital of the state is Springfield, while Chicago is the biggest city and is seen as the heart of the state. The land of Illinois is quite different. The north has low hills and forests. The center and the south have rich plains that belong to the Corn Belt, which is an important corn area of the United States. With a humid continental climate, Illinois has 4 clear seasons: fresh spring, hot and wet summer, beautiful autumn with yellow leaves, and hard winter with much snow, giving rich experiences to both people and visitors. Before Europeans came, Illinois was the home of many Native American tribes, especially the Illiniwek, and from them the name Illinois was born. In the 17th century, French explorers like Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet came to this land and made Illinois a part of New France. After the French and Indian War, this land belonged to Great Britain and finally became a part of the United States in 1783. On December 3, 1818, Illinois officially became the 21st state. In the 19th century, Illinois grew fast because of industry and trade. The good location with rivers, canals, and railroads made Chicago one of the biggest industry and trade centers in the United States, bringing millions of immigrants from Europe and later from Asia and Latin America. In the 20th century, Chicago also became a symbol of architecture and music, the place where electric blues, jazz, gospel, and especially house music, which is an electronic music style with big influence in the world, were born. Today, Illinois is both a food store with corn and soybean production among the highest in the United States, and also a center of finance, education, and technology, with Chicago seen as a global city. Chicago is the bright jewel of Illinois and also one of the biggest and most lively cities in the United States. The city is famous around the world for its shining skyline beside Lake Michigan, its modern architecture, its rich music, and its special food. Visitors who come to Chicago can explore many famous places, and each place has its own special color. The journey usually starts at Millennium Park, the green heart of the city. The most impressive point here is Cloud Gate, a huge bean-shaped sculpture made of shiny steel. With the ability to reflect the whole city and the sky, Cloud Gate has become a modern symbol of Chicago and is a place that visitors cannot miss to take special memory photos. Right next to the park, the Art Institute of Chicago welcomes you with one of the best art collections in the world. The museum has masterpieces from Monet, Van Gogh, Picasso, and many other great painters, making this place a paradise for people who love beauty and who want to be inside a creative space beyond time. The next symbol of the city is Willis Tower, a skyscraper that once was the tallest building in the world. The special highlight of this place is the sky deck, a glass balcony more than 400 meters high. When you step out there, you will feel like you are floating in the sky and see the whole big Chicago, an experience that is both exciting and hard to forget. If you want to be part of a lively atmosphere, you should go to Navy Pier. This is an entertainment center beside Lake Michigan, where there is a huge wheel, a theater, a museum, shops, and many events during the whole year. While having fun and looking at the shining lake in the sunset, Navy Pier will surely give you exciting moments. In contrast to the noisy Navy Pier, the Chicago Riverwalk gives a peaceful space. The path along the Chicago River opens a beautiful view with tall buildings reflecting on the water. This is a perfect place to walk, drink coffee, or simply sit and relax, watching the slow life inside the modern city. For people who love sports, Wrigley Field is an important stop. This is the home stadium of the Chicago Cubs baseball team, one of the oldest and most traditional teams in the United States. Wrigley Field is not only a place to watch sports, but also a cultural symbol connected with the memories and pride of the people of Chicago. If Chicago has a modern spirit, then Springfield is a land full of history, closely connected with the life and work of Abraham Lincoln, the greatest president in the history of the United States. This city is seen as a living museum about Lincoln, where visitors can follow his steps during the difficult time of the United States. The first stop when you come to Springfield is the Lincoln Home National Historic Site, the house where Abraham Lincoln lived with his family for 17 years before he went to the White House. The house is still kept almost the same, from the living space to the personal things, giving visitors the feeling of going back in time to the 19th century to imagine the simple life of the future president. A place that you cannot miss is the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum, where the journey of Lincoln is shown from a small-town lawyer to the leader who guided the United States through the Civil War. The museum mixes traditional displays with modern technology, giving a lively experience through exhibitions, documentary films, and recreated spaces. This is a place that both gives inspiration and helps visitors understand better the character, the intelligence, and the strength of Abraham Lincoln. One of the other important historic places in Springfield is the old state capitol, the old Capitol building of Illinois. In this place, Lincoln worked as a legislator and a lawyer, and he also gave important speeches that made the base for his great political career. The old architecture and the serious atmosphere help visitors feel more clearly the life and the political spirit of the 19th century. In the northwest of Illinois, Galena is one of the most beautiful towns in the United States, with a classic charm. The red brick houses from the 19th century, the small streets going around the hills, and the peaceful nature give Galena a rare quiet atmosphere. This town was once the home of Ulysses S. Grant, the famous general in the Civil War and later the 18th President of the United States. Today, Galena attracts visitors with art shops, small galleries, cozy coffee shops, and restaurants. This is a perfect place for a relaxing weekend, to learn history and to enjoy the peace of the American countryside. About 2 hours by car from Chicago, Starved Rock State Park is seen as the most famous state park in Illinois. With more than 13 sandstone canyons made over thousands of years, together with beautiful waterfalls and many hiking trails, this place is a paradise for people who love climbing, picnics, and photography. In spring, wildflowers bloom in bright colors. In summer, it is a perfect place for camping. In autumn, the red and yellow leaves make the view very beautiful and charming. In winter, the frozen waterfalls create a magical scene. This is a perfect destination for people who want to be close to nature and feel the 4 seasons of the Midwest. In the far south of Illinois, Shawnee National Forest spreads over more than 1,100 square kilometers and is a rare natural treasure. The most famous place in the forest is the Garden of the Gods, where huge rocks with strange shapes make a wonderful view, especially beautiful when the sun goes down. In addition, the forest has lakes, waterfalls, and many trails for walking, cycling, horse riding, or camping. With its rich ecosystem, Shawnee is a favorite destination for people who want to leave modern life for a while, to find peace and connect with nature. The culture of Illinois is a special mix between the identity of the American Midwest and international character. Chicago is an art center with theaters, symphony orchestras, and big museums. It is also the home of modern architecture, where famous names like Louis Sullivan and Frank Lloyd Wright were born. The people of Illinois have a strong love for sports, from the Chicago Bulls in NBA basketball, the Chicago Bears in NFL football, to the Chicago Blackhawks in ice hockey. The people of Illinois are friendly, hardworking, and simple like in the Midwest. But in Chicago, they also show energy, creativity, and openness. The diverse population with many communities from Europe, Latin America, Africa, and Asia has made a rich multicultural society. The food of Illinois, especially in Chicago, is also famous around the world. Chicago-style deep dish pizza with a thick crust and full of cheese is an experience that you cannot miss. The Chicago-style hot dog is special with sausage, tomato, pickle, onion, pepper, and mustard, and it never has ketchup. The Italian beef sandwich, which is bread with thin beef cooked in tasty sauce, is a street food loved by the people. In addition, Illinois also has many wineries in the South, which make the food culture of the state richer. Illinois is not only a state on the map, but also an important part of the story of the United States. This is the place where the past, the present, and the future meet, where visitors can learn about the history of Abraham Lincoln, enjoy the busy life of Chicago, and relax in the great natural views. If you want to understand the United States more deeply, you should start with Illinois, the true heart of the country of the stars and stripes. The journey through the hidden mountain worlds does not end when you leave the mountains of Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, or Illinois. It continues in your memory, in the feeling of peace and surprise that nature gives. It is not only places to look at, but places to feel, to listen, and to connect deeply with the natural world. In the busy modern life, these hidden mountain areas are like a reminder that there are still places that people have not touched, where the beauty is simple but can still move anyone. And maybe the most valuable thing that these lands give is not only the great views, but also the feeling of freedom, when you stand in the big nature and understand that this world still has many amazing things waiting to be explored.